Okay, this video is being made for my history and to take into court with me should I have it should I need to take it into court. This is for my history because I've done so much work on these lots I forget what I did over the years. But it's also for a running daily report that I can send in to the authorities here on the plantation, on Plantation Parcel 9. The reason I call it a plantation is some slave chasers, as far as I'm concerned, the CC&Rs that are written into the Constitution for this community are written to establish Parcel 9 as a plantation. Okay, I'm living on a plantation, and I'm a slave to the plantation owners and to the pecking order and the hierarchy that takes place over in this neighborhood. Until the plat map is honored, the plat map for 12 that was produced about 18 years ago, until that plat map is honored by opening up track day to emergency vehicles in and out, to golf carts in and out, to pedestrian traffic in and out, and also to make sure it drains. Right now, track day has a threshold on the end of it that's about 8 inches high. No water leaves track day until they form a lake 8 inches deep inside the track. When you get a lake 8 inches deep, and it takes a while to build that lake, you're not going to build it in one day. If we get a sudden rainstorm, we're not going to get a lake in track day. But if we get 3 or 4 days of rain where track day starts to get filled up and saturated, and we get a big storm like we did on March 13th, there's no place for the water to go. That lake starts to rise until it breaches the threshold at the end of track day. That's what established that Grand Canyon at the end of track day. You should be proud of yourself, everybody in the city. The signature hole of your signature golf course inside the city of Buckeye, the signature hole has a signature of a Grand Canyon at the end of a walking easement that's not lit at night. About 3 weeks ago, they had a tournament for kids, little girls and little boys. I mean, it was all day for 2 days. There were parents from all over the valley here because they brought in kids from all over the valley to play a youth tournament. Well, the entourage that every group that went through had was the mother, the father, brothers, sisters of both players. If there was 4 players, you had the mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, grandchildren, grandparents of the people, the kids that were playing that were probably 8 to 12 years old. Okay, with perfect swings, these little people. But you know what all the kids and brothers and sisters were doing? Waiting to tee off, because on every tee they were clogged up and they had to wait to tee off. Well, here on the 6th hole, the kids would go up and play in the Grand Canyon. They were fascinated by it. When they'd look up there and they'd see this big ditch, they went up there and there was a climbing wall and a skills course. You ought to be proud of yourself that while you were having a friggin' golf tournament, the kids here were entertained by that climbing wall, that ditch, that Grand Canyon. You got the end of an access easement. An access easement is supposed to be available for emergency access vehicle. Emergency vehicles. If we ever have a meltdown, right there where I'm pointing, where that camera off in the distance, where you see those light poles, that furthest light pole off in the distance, beyond the house with the solar panels. Let me zoom in. Ah, that house with the solar panels and the light pole right there is probably one of the busiest intersections in all of the city of Buckeye. All right, it's right there. And it's one of our portals to get in and out of this. And there's one 100 yards up the road to the other one. Those are the only in and out portals that service this community. If they ever have a meltdown out there with a traffic, a huge accident, and we have an emergency up here, any kind of emergency we can have, it could be a fire, it could be somebody having a stroke, somebody having a heart attack, somebody fell, a young person got hit by a golf ball on 233rd. They came in from the 5th tee box, knocked them silly. They got a huge softball thing inside their head. You don't dare move them. And we're clogged up out there. They had an accident out there. For whatever reason, they have an accident. And those two portals are clogged up. It's going to happen one of these days. And if we have an emergency in this 13 acres, 63 houses, no emergency vehicles are going to be able to get in or out. All right? Now, to tell you what I'm doing, the other day I stopped the other day with half of this done. When I stopped the other day, I had to finish this up here. And again, I'm reminding the HOA and anybody that's listening, that is pure rock. It doesn't have sand. It doesn't have impurities like sand in it that holds water and absorbs water and slows water from draining. All right, this is pure rock right here, what we would call half-inch rock. This is pure half-inch rock. Everything's been sanded out of it. I do this about 3 shovels at a time. I can sift 3 shovels at a time. Okay? I can't go any faster than that. Now, I'm updating you what I got done. I got that done the other day, but my friend had a medical procedure yesterday, so I hope you don't mind if I took the day off to come help her with her medical procedure to drive her around. Now, here's what I got. You see that big pile of polluted rock right there? This stuff that you call top rock, what you're selling, you're allowing the people around here to sell as top rock, that is loaded with filthy pollutants like sand and pebbles. This rock isn't. Okay? Now, what I have to do, and I hope to get done, is I started this the other night. I worked for 11 hours one day and 9 hours the next day. Okay, off and on. I got to move these big piles of polluted rock. You should be embarrassed to call this top cover. I think it goes along with your plan of making every lot their own individual retention basin. When you put rock like that down, the first thing happens is the sand has to absorb all the rain. So for the first day it rains, the sand will take care of all the rain. Okay? It won't make it to the street. I'm making sure that the water gets to the street immediately. It's not going to be absorbed by sand, and it isn't going to be slowed down by sand or little pebbles. It's going to go straight to the street where it belongs. And I've done the work to get it. And the reason I'm putting down landscape fabric is to keep the weeds out. I know more than you do. I've been doing this now for 15 years. When you put that kind of rock down with landscape fabric, you'll never have to use chemicals to treat your lot again for weeds. Your lot is permanently taken care of forever and ever, as far as I'm concerned, because I've watched it work. So please, give me the time to custom. This is a custom job, one shovel at a time. I'm doing it. I'm only human. I'm 72 years old. All right? Leave me alone.